grand opening. It's like kind of a fall festival type feel to it. I'm here with Chad Robichaux. You do a lot of stuff, like Mighty Oaks Foundation.
Yes.
You're a writer.
Yes.
and you can't see it now, but the dude has ears like he has rolled for how many? 43 years?
43 years, yeah.
Jeez. So judo, jiu-jitsu, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I did 20 professional MMA fights. 18-2. You're a jiu-jitsu guy, so you might appreciate my 18-2 record. I have 17 submissions.
Really?
So, yeah. So
see, I do appreciate that because I enjoy rolling. I mean, I don't know if I want to get on the mat with this killer because you learn so much. Yeah. But we're out here in Maryville, Tennessee. So, Chad, give us a rundown on what you do because you've got a lot going out there. You guys have like 3 or 4 tents lined up. You've got Cy in the booth over here signing autographs. The line is going literally like all the way to the main stage, which you might hear is a little bit of music. That's the main stage. We've got artists from all over the country. So what do you do?
So I do a lot of things, but what brings me here is I'm one of the 4 brand ambassadors for Smith & Wesson. So you got Jerry and Julie, who are phenomenal shooters. Yep. Myself, I was a 4th Recon Marine, and I was on JSOC Task Force at 8 deployments to Afghanistan. And so I got my firearms experience from the Special Operations community. Travis Kennedy is also a Navy SEAL. And so Travis and I more like represent the military gunfighter side. I think Julie and Jerry are like competitors.
I'm going to tell you right now, if I was getting in a gunfight, I wouldn't want to face any of y'all.
I would not want to be on the other side of Jerry.
If I'm on the other side of Jerry, like, there's a good chance he'll get every round in the gun off before I put one on target.
My personal marker for me, through my life, has been to be able to come from concealed and get 1 round on target in like 1.6 seconds. That's like a good. He put 6 rounds on 6 plates at 1.88 seconds yesterday from a revolver.
It's unbelievable. And accurate shots. We're not talking about just slinging lead and just charging a firearm in a safe direction in under 1.8. It's unbelievable. But
so that my core thing is Mighty Oaks Foundation. I started Mighty Oaks Foundation after my 8 deployments. I came home. I dealt with my own battles with depression, anxiety, PTSD, debilitating panic attacks. I had a 3-year downward spiral, which was actually, ironically, the height of my MMA fighting. I was ranked number 6 in the world at the same time that I was like just rock bottom because I was just trying to cope with that in my life, using that to cope. I ended up having a suicide attempt and almost becoming another veteran suicide statistic. And some amazing people came around me and helped me to get back on my feet, restored my faith. And on the other side of that, God just put a deep burden on my heart to pay it forward. Yep. And so that was 12 years ago. Mighty Oaks Foundation now has served over 500,000 warriors. We do about $8 million a year in programming for free to military community, the first responder community. We have one of the most robust programs for resiliency programs. I speak at active duty bases all around the world. I do a ton of public speaking about suicide prevention, just trying to inspire people to live the best life they can and live the lives I believe we were created to live. We have our recovery programs at 5 ranches around the country. I do a lot of stuff in D.C., testify before Congress and Senate. I've served as a chairman of the White House's Faith-Based Coalition for Veterans Affairs. And then we do a lot of stuff overseas. We have an international program. We go all over the world and help our allies to have the same programs that we have here. And that's led into me leading a lot of efforts and rescuing people around the world, taking veterans who are out already, mainly from special operations community, who still have a heart to help people that can't help themselves and do rescues around the world. And I've been to Ukraine 10 times, to Afghanistan evacs.
So what led you to? I mean, what was the point where you were looking at? You need help, and you see the ability to save others. Like, where does that come from? Like, what was that process like?
Well, I think when someone's going through any dark time in your life, you feel like you're the only one, right? No one can feel as bad as I can. No one can feel so hopeless they don't live. No one's marriage can feel so bad. You just start feeling like once you come on the other side of it, you realize you wasn't the only one. Like, other people are struggling too. When I came on the other side of that fog, I realized that not only did I almost kill myself, but 20-something veterans a day were actually killing themselves. Yeah. Not only did I almost get divorced and separated from my family, spent 3 months alone, but 80% of those from my community the combat veteran community were divorcing. So I think God like put this burden on my heart that I had found the solution and I need to pay it forward. It's like I didn't want to. It's like if you're dying of cancer and someone gives you the cure, like you have to share that, right? So that's how I just felt that. Even if it was one other person, I didn't know Mighty Oaks would be this, $8 million a year operation, and we have 100 people on staff, and we helping thousands of people a year. I had no idea. I was just a desire. If I could just help one person like people helped me, then that would be my duty to pay that forward. But the way our program works is I do that for someone else and then empower and challenge them to do that for someone else and to do that for someone else. The Bible calls it discipleship, right? Yep. And it becomes exponential. Yeah. And that's what happened over the last 12 years. It's leaders building leaders to help leaders and just has grown. All of our staff at our programs are alumni. Our leadership may not be alumni, but the guys that teach are alumni. Yeah. All of our international programs and the guys that go around the world and do these rescue operations, most of them are alumni from Mighty Oaks.
Really? Yeah. So how do people get involved in Mighty Oaks? Because that's the most important thing and that's probably one of the hardest things to do is accept the fact that you need help.
Sure. So, and first of all, I want to make sure I mention Smith & Wesson, because we're here at the grand opening today. They have not only chosen to partner with me as an ambassador, but part of that partnership includes them partnering at Mighty Oaks. They're awesome. So like-minded. They're such Mr. Mark Smith, the CEO, Kyle Tyndale, Dave, all those guys in the marketing team. They're really are like incredible people. And I'm not saying that because I'm here. Right. It's like, I was at the House for Barbecue last night. They're incredible human beings, and they love this country and they love people. And there's a reason they're the most iconic American brand in the gun industry, and they just believe in what we're doing. So they've really locked arms with us, Mighty Oaks, because they care about the veteran community, not just trying to make money off of the community.
Right.
And so, but if a veteran or first responder or spouse of is like listening and needs help, the first thing to do is get help is make sure you plug in a good resource. And Mighty Oaks is one of them. MightyOaksPrograms.org. Top of our webpage is an apply button. Mm-hmm. You apply there, and it's a pretty simple application. Our team will contact you right away. It's absolutely free. We even pay for travel, so we'll fly you out to one of our 5 ranches for 6 days. It's not non-clinical. You're not going to be sitting in a psychologist. It's peer-to-peer, like brother-to-brother mentorship. Yeah. And it's incredible.
Given the breadth of the organization, too, you guys it's not like you have to sit in a doctor's office and wait or wait for a call. Like, you guys are really on it.
Yeah, it's because the reason those guys on our team are so passionate because they were them, right? This program saved their life, so now they want to pay it forward, and they realize how dark it could be.
Yeah, there's an urgency that comes with the responsibility to serve their fellow brother.
They take it very seriously, and they're passionate about it. And look, we're out of 20 years of war, but there's never been a higher time of suicide in our active duty military than right now. I just got back from 1st Marine Division. I did a leadership conference for the whole Marine Division, and it was September, and by September this year was already the highest suicide rate for any year in the history of the Marine Corps that's documented.
Really?
So the suicide rate is still a problem. It's not going away. The morale in the military is the lowest that I've seen in my 30 years involved in the military. The morale is just so low. People aren't re-enlisting. The recruitment's the lowest it's been since Vietnam, and so it's not the best environment. And and you got this bad environment for guys that are doing one of the hardest jobs our nation could ask them to do is be willing to whatever their MOS is. They're willing to sacrifice their lives for the defense of their country and defense of people around the world. It's one thing to do that, but it's another thing to do that in a negative environment. Yeah. And so it creates an atmosphere for suicides become rampant. And so we believe that's a solution to that. As a Christian, I believe the solution is people aligning their lives with the lives they are created to live. And so we present that in the biblical model of living as a solution. And that's one of our kind of keys to our success.
That is awesome. So where do they go? Where do they go to find out more? Because you do so much, and I do want to talk about saving Aziz.
Yeah. So MightyOaksPrograms.org. Again, you could apply there for help, and you could also go there to donate. 501c3 tax deductible donations. We need all the support we get.
Everyone should be supporting this. Like if you're watching this isn't something that you just gloss over. There's guys out there, there's gals out there that need your help. So
we do it for free because people. Amazing patriots around the country help us by donating us to do it for free. Yeah,
they allow you to live your life free. Just think about that. So feel free to give back. All right, let's talk about saving Aziz.
Yeah.
Where did this all come about?
Well, so Aziz, when you talk about saving Aziz was I had a very unique job. I was a Force Recon Marine. I went to JSOC Task Force, Joint Special Operations Command Task Force, and I served with the premier special operations unit in the world. I won't say the name of it, but it's Tier 1 premier unit. I was very privileged to represent the Marine Corps there. And my job there was AFO, Advanced Force Operator. Meant I worked by myself. Kind of best way to describe it is like being undercover in the military. So I lived with the local nationals, and Aziz was my interpreter, my teammate, trained to be my teammate, and ultimately my friend. And we did hundreds of missions together for over all 8 of my deployments. The continuity of us being together for 8 deployments, which is not very common for military interpreters. But a little bit of what our job was to go ahead of our assault force to go into non-permissive environments in the mountains of Afghanistan, across the border in Pakistan, and to go like weeks, months ahead of our unit and build a target to put our soldiers on targets. We were there way ahead of it, setting it up. That's what AFOs do. And so Aziz saved my life numerous times. I've seen him save the lives of others. He just got recently recognized before Congress for Operation. Myself, him, and another Afghan went on to rescue 4 Navy SEALs out of a Taliban village. So he's the first Afghan. But like, I'll share a story from the stage today because I'm speaking on the stage today of a time that Aziz saved my life in kinetic combat. But I mean, this guy, and we weren't operating, by the way. It's important for people to know. I didn't go back to base and he went home. I went to his house. His wife Hatra cooked our first warm meal. I held his babies when they were born, like Mashoud and Mashoud when they were born. So he's family to me. So when all these years later, when President Biden makes the announcement that we're leaving Afghanistan, there's a lot of things I disagree with, but we only have a little bit of time here. You can read in the book. But one thing I had control over was I was not going to leave my brother. My wife had a husband because of him. My kids have a father because of him. I'm not going to leave him behind to be killed. And he was their indirect threat. We knew because of our operation. It wasn't maybe. He was already targeted and identified. And so I made a decision to go get him. And I called some special operations buddies from the veteran community. You talked about Tim Kinney was one of them. I put together a slow team of guys, 12 special operations veterans, 1 lady, Sarah Verordo. And we put an effort together to go get Aziz, his wife, and 6 kids. And then we decided to stay and got 17,000 people out. And the end of that operation ended far away from the airport in Tajikistan, where myself and Dennis Price went in a country called Tajikistan. And for every night for like 10 days, we did 90 miles of border reconnaissance. And we swam across the Panjshir River in Afghanistan. The Chinese were there, the Russians, the Taliban. We swam across the river in Afghanistan and built routes out for all the women and children trying to come across. And so it was, an incredible thing to be a part of. And I got to see some of the best, of our veteran community in our country. It was one of those moments that it made me like really ashamed about our country and the decisions they made. But at the backside of it, it made me like probably the most proudest I've ever been to be an American, because while our government didn't do the right thing, and we probably should never expect them to at this point, while our government did the right thing, good people came together to do the right thing for people that needed help. And it was so cool because I'm a pretty outspoken conservative. I'm a Christian. I'm pretty outspoken. I have 500,000 people on my Instagram that like either love me or hate me. And there was people that were writing me saying, when you're on social media like that, people like follow you just to pick at you too.
Oh, they love it.
And, but I had people saying, I think you're an idiot. I don't agree with anything we're doing, but what you're doing right now is awesome. Where can I donate? Like that's the kind of, it was incredible to see people come together. We had a Jewish organization donate $1.5 million for flights because we spent millions and millions of dollars for flights. But they went to make the donation. Like, hey, we can't make the donation because I'm like, did I get the routing number wrong? They're like, no, you're a Christian organization. We're a Jewish organization. We can't make that donation. And I was like, okay, but you realize we're rescuing Muslims, right? And and we laughed and they made the donation.
It's like, well, that's a good point.
And it was just so cool to see people come together despite what our government did. And we did the right thing and we got to help a lot of people. It's still heartbreaking. There's 40 million people in Afghanistan, 20 million women and little girls that are, lost all their human rights. Women, little girls as long as 9 years old being raped every day because of that. Our allies that fought alongside of us for 20 years, people like Aziz, are left behind and being killed. It's heartbreaking. But we did everything we could, and we're still doing more. And so saving Aziz is kind of that story. Pretty quickly after it was written, it's being made in a motion picture film. So we're pretty excited to share the story.
As long as you're involved, man, you get it done. You're going to get it done right, and it's a good story on the fighting spirit. Like just because we're out, you still fought for your brother, and that's an absolutely amazing testament of the individual that you are, and the individual we should all strive to be. So Thank you.
I appreciate that, man.
Where can they buy the book?
Well, the books, anywhere you buy books are
Yeah.
sold. I mean, you can go to savingaziz.com, I think, or Amazon, anywhere you can buy books. And as an audiobook, too, and I actually read it.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah.
Right.
I didn't want to because I'm like, I'm going to be so, like, pissed. Like, you're going to hear, like, this side of me that I don't know if I want people to hear. And you're like, that's what we want to hear. So I read
hear
it.
you hear the fire in the book. Well, that's awesome. Hey, before we get out of here, we're having everybody sign. We're doing a giveaway.
Okay.
So for all you guys watching at home, I hope you comment throughout our broadcast today, and we will draw a winner at the end of the day. And you're going to get the book, you're going to get a hat, and you're going to get a shirt, and you're going to get some Bucky socks that Chad Robichaux is going to autograph for us.
Yes.
We're all signing it and getting it out there, but you guys,
all right.
just anywhere you want, man.
I love Bucky's. I went this
Right?
week. I took a Smith & Wesson M&P 10 308 to go hunt a 2,000-pound buffalo, and I got it.
Really?
But on the way there, I realized I forgot my CLP. I stopped at Bucky's. I got a Gatorade. I got some beef jerky, and I got some CLP.
See? I mean, all in one stop. I mean, that's what you do when you go to Bucky's. So, but yeah, you guys please comment throughout all of them, and we'll pick a winner. But Chad, man, thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for all that you do for our community and our country.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right,
thank
brother.
you guys for being here, man.
Thank you so much. All right. We're going to be back again. I don't even know who we got, but I know we got a great guest on next, starting at 2 o'clock. So join in right then.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Gun Talk Live. For more great gun content, subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. You can always watch the Gun Talk channels on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon. And of course, you can always find us at guntalk.com. Thanks for watching.